What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the DLLS Wings podcast. I'm your host, Erica Lee Day. I'm joined by Bobby and Ali. Off rip, I'm just going to rip the band-aid off. I'm really excited for Ali to be here today because last week we were rudely interrupted. And while I did feel like, I'm not going to lie, a little honored, a little blessed, a little hashtag important, if you will, because I was the first person on this entire YouTube channel, DLLS Sports, to say the words of Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. And so, I think just the rip. How the heck are you guys? Are you excited to be here? It's NFL opening day, and yet you're on my show, and I feel honored.
Yeah, no, doing great, and hopefully no interruptions today. Hopefully the physical doesn't fail, and Micah's on the flight to Philly or something like that. Some crazy thing happening like that. But no, doing great. Great to be here, and just pumped to talk about the Dallas Wings and the WNBA.
I'm fired up. I'm fired up. September's a great month for sports. August was kind of a lousy one around here. There's 1 week left in the Wings season. Just 1 week left. They got to make the most of it. We got to make the most of it. And let's see what happens with the vibes. But I feel like everyone's going to leave this show feeling better than they did coming into it.
Y'all know I like to keep things positive as much as possible, but with a 9-32 record, they're eliminated from playoff contention. Life kind of is poo poo for Wings fans. Let's not like call it what it is. It's not that fun. So I figured we could have a little bit of fun today. Finally, give Ollie a chance to have his Rookie of the Year conversation, and then maybe give some just crazy left field hot takes that probably will get people even madder at me and Bobby. What's the worst that could happen on a Thursday afternoon? Not that bad, right? So, but the Wings do have a chance to send somebody to the playoffs today, albeit not themselves. And so obviously today they play the Golden State Valkyries in Golden State. This is a game that should be fun for a lot of reasons. This has got to be their fourth time matching up this season, it seems, because this will be the fourth time that we've gotten to see Caitlin Chen and Paige Bueckers match up, which is always a good time if you bled blue and came with Paige from college. I can imagine that today is a rather fun day for you, win or lose. But honestly, after last game with Paige kind of giving her whole spiel about just kind of sticking with the program and believing in who's in the locker room, I don't care about the results of these games as long as the team remains bought in on themselves for next season. We've talked about it. Like this team is in an advantageous standpoint in a sense that they have a lot of people on rookie deals that they can keep next year at a rather humongous discount. And so while the record might not be like all that fun, win or lose tonight, like they got a lock for number one pick. It can be fun no matter how you look at it.
Can I, is it too early in the show for me to bust out the hopium? Y'all want to start huffing just real quick? So I'm glad that you brought up Paige's comments, and I thought what Paige said was great. And she, for 22 or 23 years old or whatever, she's so mature and just so with it, and like has the right mindset and everything. Like, what an impressive player and what an impressive person. But during that quote that she gave, she mentioned Steph Curry's tweet about the "Hey Dub Nation, like we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do whatever we can to figure it out." There's one key difference though between Paige's talk and Steph's talk, is that whenever Steph posted that's like 15 years ago, he wasn't Steph Curry. Like he was good, he was a pretty good player, but like, and the team was really bad, but like Steph was just kind of good. Paige is already like one of the 5 or 10 best players in the league. Whatever, maybe 12, whatever your ranking is, Paige is there. And so, not only is she better and more, I would say, accomplished already at this stage of her career than Steph was, and that's saying a lot because Steph Curry was an incredible college player and had a good first few years of his career before he really took off. But I think Paige has like motion in ways that I think could attract other players, so they could get this thing turned around even quicker. Paige has the talent, and I think the magnetism that other really good players around the league could want to play with. And the league is about to experience a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of free agents, and the Wings have a whole lot of cap space. Now everybody else does too. But I think there's only a few other teams or a few other players in the league that if I am a post or if I'm a wing, if I'm a shooter, there's only a few other players in the league that I would even consider, playing with, before Paige that could help make my life easier and that I could win some titles with for a really long time. And so I think that, not only is she really wise for saying that and has the right approach in the way that she said it, but I think that she can definitely back it up.
Yeah, I agree with Bobby as well too. And like, think about it. I know the season hasn't gone their way, but kind of think of it as like an audition for Paige Bueckers, showing that, hey, like, I know it's not going the way we want it to be, but she's handling it well. And I think when other free agents see that, like, that's a player we want to play with, because in this case, when you think of the Dallas Wings, like, what is the only way, if I'm sitting across a table with an Asia Wilson or with Satu Sabele, what is the only way that I could sit here and sell you this team and tell you, come play with us? It's Paige Bueckers. And she's handling it well, and all the hype, all the expectations, she's living up to it. As you mentioned, Bobby, I mean, I'd already throw her in, really within my top 5 players. She's certainly playing like it. And so, yeah, I do think the maturity, her approach to everything, how she's handling the fact this team is not playing well, but she still shows up every day and does her job. That's a player I want to play with. That's the way I'm selling to everybody. Come play in Dallas, because you'll pair up with what is expected to be, her, Caitlin Clark as well, that next generational great talent that's going to be running this league for the next 10 plus years.
Well, I think actually I want to start with our hot takes because it's kind of moved me into a perfect spot for me to rip one off real quick. And I wish KG was here. I'm not gonna lie. I do kind of wish KG was here for this, because I know that my hot take and his hot take would just be complete opposites of one another. And I love that, because they are so hot, because there is no clear answer. The Wings have said they want to hold on to her, but it's been unclear as to what exactly direction they will go. And with Dallas sports luck, I mean, change could come tomorrow for all we know, Um, I'm gonna say it. I actually think Arike Agumbawale will be in a Wings jersey next year. I think that she is, first of all, okay with her role transitioning. I think she's proven it, and her little viral moment this morning, or this week, I guess, not this morning, but when she, the Dallas Wings are marketing her as all WNBA first team, and she's like, hold your horses, not this year. That, not only is A, that absolutely hilarious, but B, like, she understands that she did not play up to her expectations this year, and that because of that, her role has changed. And if you go back to the first couple of episodes, like, I want to say me and Dorothy were pretty like hard believers in that this was still kind of Enrique's team, but that has obviously changed. And I think Enrique is okay with that. And as long as the front office doesn't take advantage of that situation and try to, slight her in terms of pay, because obviously, that contract is going to be up for negotiation next year. Like, I think that this is a relationship that can not only succeed, but really like prosper with the Wings. As long as the playing field levels itself in terms of practice facilities and, to be honest with you, coaching staff, I think you're right. Like, Paige is an attractive player to play with. She's a fantastic ball handler, and she wants to see her teammates succeed. And so if you have that and you have everything else that is bottom line required to be a competitive WNBA team these days, which is a decent coaching staff and a practice facility, then I think Dallas is going to have absolutely no problems landing free agents and keeping players that they would want to keep, which in this case is Arike Ogunbowale. She's proven to be a fantastic scorer. And not only that, when you have been the franchise player for so long, it it lends itself of like, okay, so you're gonna go somewhere else and be a role player? Like, wouldn't you want to stay with the team that you've pretty much built from the ground up, and now, you know, watch, I guess, the person that you pass the torch to kind of carry them to the finish line of what you were trying to build? So I think Arike stays, and I don't know if that's as hot as maybe I thought it was this morning when I woke up, but I know that KG would have some icy words for that.
KG would. I mean, people in the chat do. I think that she's become kind of this polarizing player, right? Because Paige is so clearly it. Like, Paige is it, and so, are you going to fit in, or are you going to fit out? I think, to follow along with the Steph Curry metaphor, one of the players that's on the Mavs right now, Klay Thompson, he spent 10 years is racking up titles and accolades playing alongside Steph. And whenever the Warriors made the decision to bring him off the bench and diminish his role and maybe diminish his pay alongside of it, it becomes personal because to Clay, like, I've been here my whole career. I've been with you through the good and the bad, the highs and the lows and all these things. How could you do this to me? But then he goes to the Mavs and he's not playing in crunch time and he's not making the max. And like, he's just kind of he might not be okay with it necessarily. Like, I'm sure he wants to play, but it's easier. It's more palatable because it's in a different environment for a different team. And so for Enrique, like, it could be that the Wings would pay her more than anyone else, whether she starts or whatever. But like, even if her role diminishes, it might be easier to do it somewhere else, especially if it's on a better team, because it doesn't feel like you're being demoted by the place that you've spent all your time and effort and energy and blood and sweat and tears over many years to build up. Even if the new player that's come along is better than you and you accept that she's better than you and you kind of play the same position and do a lot of the same things. But Ollie, unless you had something to weigh in with, I want to give my hot take.
No, that's all you, because I got one for sure.
Okay. I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if this is a prediction. I don't know. But I do want to mention here. All right. I didn't wear today's shirt by accident. All right. Blue is my favorite color. So I'm usually wearing blue or gray or some other sort of neutral thing that's close to blue. But today I went with a little bit of a lighter blue. I went with a little bit of you could call it almost a sky blue. All right. Whether or not you keep Enrique, now you might have to, depending on what happens, you might not be able to keep Enrique in this instance. I think it's pretty safe to say the Wings have a lot of guards, right? I feel good about their backcourt. Whether Enrique is here or not, they have a lot of guards. And if Enrique stays, they have a ton of guards, and they're totally fine. We all do agree, though, the Wings could use some stuff on the inside. The Wings could use some defense. The Wings have had good stretches of team rebounding, but they sure could use a force down low. They need a center or a power forward, or heck, why not get someone that could play both? And there's a player that plays for the Chicago Sky right now that just recently, in fact, I think like this week, went on the record in the newspaper saying, wouldn't it be great if I could play alongside a guard that's younger than Courtney Vandersloot and that is ready to compete for a title and has competed for championships in the past? I feel like Paige qualifies. She won a title just last year. She's very young, which is very good. And I feel like Angel Reese and Paige Bueckers would make up the coolest, most dynamic, most badass, most fun to watch, fun to cover duo in the league. Am I wrong? Or am I how right am I?
I think you're 100% right, but I want Ali to answer.
No, look, I think you are right, and they would be a fun duo to watch. And keep in mind, this is a player, too, that has, I believe, the most double-doubles over the first 2 seasons of anyone's career. Like, with Paige's game and with her shooting, you do want somebody that can rebound. Paige takes a lot of shots. You want something that can grab those rebounds, create those second, third chance opportunities as well. So I could definitely see that being a scenario that fits out well. Obviously, with the Chicago Sky, what would it take, in return to make that happen is my question right there. Like, how much are the Sky willing to do that? How much are the Wings willing to part with that?
I'm curious, Erica, what do you think? Because I was trying to think about that. Like, I've seen all Wings fans cook up all sorts of like trade proposals. Angel's very, very good. Like, she is clearly one of the better bigs in the league. Obviously, one of the best rebounders like of all time already.
Absolutely.
But like her, and I don't mean this disparagingly, I mean this in a positive way. Like, she has so much star power and is such a draw, and it like that stuff is also very valuable for like selling tickets, building a team, selling jerseys. Like, she is a bona fide superstar, and deservedly so. She's like one of the most famous athletes in America right now. Like, she's huge. And so, does that make it harder to trade for a player like that? Because that team is going to want even more than maybe you'd be willing to just if she was just really good at playing.
I'm going to be honest about this, and this is going to come across as a slight to the Chicago front office, and it absolutely is. They've made dumb move after dumb move after dumb move. Like, Getting rid of the pick that ended up turning into Sonia Citron is a dumb move, especially when you literally consider that exact article you're referencing, talking about the fact that she needs a younger guard like around her to play with. And what, granted, if everyone had future seeing goggles, like sports would be a lot easier, and Courtney Vandersloot would have never been on the Chicago Sky, obviously. But getting Courtney Vandersloot and depending on her at her age to be your point guard, yeah, it wasn't a wise decision for Mr. Jeff of the Chicago Sky. So I think that Angel, first of all, likes Paige, and I think that that's saying enough in itself. I think Angel wants out of Chicago because again, they've made not smart choice after not smart choice after they broke ground on this practice facility and we haven't heard a peep about it since I want to say February. To me, that rings as suspicious. And granted, I'm not in Chicago, not boots on the ground, but I mean, if I was them, I would be updating every step of the possible way. And, I've been seeing a lot of player comparisons fly around for Angel for as long as, she's been a big name. And to Bobby's point, like literally one of the biggest names in the United States. But the player that she's training to be is Alyssa Thomas. And I am watching Alyssa Thomas right in front of me in my every day. 22 home games a season. And let me tell you something, if you have an opportunity to get a player that can be the caliber of Alyssa Thomas, and when people talk about Alyssa Thomas, they don't talk about her scoring. So, everyone's major complaint about Angel Reese then goes flying out the window because her finishing and her scoring isn't really what her main prowess is. It is her passing and her ability to handle the ball at the position that she plays is what is impressive about her. And so when you put her in tandem with a player like Paige, who is as good of a ball handler as she is, like it makes everybody's around them's job that much easier all the time. And to your other point, the defense. This defense has been one of the most disconnected defenses I've seen in my entire life of watching the WNBA. They look like they're lost all the time, and that is because they don't have someone to plug when there is space and gaps. There's no one that is willing to move, and there. So you have to find that. And Paige and Angel are both players that are willing to move and get where they need to be in their spots, whether they're on the offense or defensive side of the ball. So I think it would be a fantastic move from the Wings. And I think if there was one person I trust to get something like that done, it is Kurt. So, I'm gonna say it. The Wings might have the worst schedule, the worst record at the end of all of this. But the Sky have a far worse situation on their hands with what's going on with Angel, and the fact that she so publicly wants out of Chicago at this point, and she's saying it. I mean, the first week of September, like there's still a week and a half of play left to do, and then on top of it, the playoffs. And like, granted, they're not going to the playoffs, but like it doesn't look great, and it doesn't feel great when she is the franchise in Chicago.
Yeah, let's not forget
Challenge
too.
though, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this too, Ali, and Erica as well. Ali, having worked in the league, is like everything we just said about how players would want to play with Paige. They would probably also love to play with Angel because first off, Angel seems awesome. She's really good. She does so much dirty work to make your job easier. I don't want to go get my hands dirty trying to grab a rebound, but Angel's got that already. Or like, hey, I like shooting. I don't really like having to make a bunch of decisions with the ball. But Angel has taken such a step forward this year as a passer. Like she's really good with the ball. And I'm just trying to think of like these dribble handoff possibilities between her and Paige. Like that would just be so nasty. So I would want to go play with Angel for sure. And that's where, Erica, you bringing up like the facilities and the coaching staff and all of these things that aren't salary could differentiate and kind of distinguish one franchise from the next. And, we've had some pretty harsh, but I think valid criticisms of the way that the Wings have handled this season. They're definitely trying to take steps forward, new facility, new arena, even though that's getting delayed because of the World Cup and some other stuff. Like they're trying to improve their situation. There are a lot of teams that are further along than the Wings are, certainly. But I do think the Wings could have an edge over the Sky, in that regard. If Angel is like, would I rather stay here and try and recruit, or would I rather go to a situation that might be better than this one and they already have a player? But it's tough. I don't know. I feel like it's how silly am I for thinking that this is something that could happen?
Well, let's not forget too, Chicago's first round pick is owned by Minnesota. So they really are in a tough spot, which that's a whole crazy scenario by itself too, as well,
Which
considering we're
again, Jeff,
Minnesota.
poo poo, poo poo, poo poo. Like, what are you doing?
And so if you're the Dallas Wings and you do get the number one pick, like, I don't know if you make that move, but if you miss out on the number one pick and it goes to another team, then I think you start thinking about that move. But the number one pick, giving that up would be a little more difficult. But Chicago would probably be targeting, that top pick. It's like, hey, you want her, cool, give us your pick. But are you willing to part with the fact that you get a Lauren Betts or an AZ Fudd on your team as well?
I think Classic Thing Lover actually brings up a fantastic point in the comments about coaching, and that I think Chris Koklanis plays a massive role in this. I think if we were talking about this team being coached by Lisa Leslie, and this was a conversation we were having, then I think I would think it would just almost a lock, a guarantee. Like, why are we even having the conversation? Because
Yeah.
Kurt's probably getting the paperwork done as we speak. But considering the coach that's in the position that he's in, I have to hold a little bit of doubts, and so I think there will be a move made regarding the coaching staff this year. I think we're almost dumb to not think so. I think there's going to be another coaching carousel around the league this year, and I think the Wings don't want to be behind on that curveball. I think if anything, they're going to want to be far, far ahead of it. So they might be one of the first teams to part ways with their head coach. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, so don't come at me. Oh my gosh, on the X.com, please don't. But yeah, I do think that it plays a very large role in whatever is to happen with the free agent market and the trade market this year.
I don't know necessarily that they would need a coach to, like, quote, keep her in check. I think any great player and any superstar, they want to win.
Yeah.
They want to win, and it's not just that player's drive. Like, think about, like, I mean, any great athlete in any sport is like, I know that I'm very good. I know that, in the right situation, I can succeed because I'm working this hard and I take this approach and I'm this talented and I'm this dedicated and committed and everything. In basketball, can you give me at least 4 other players that can help me get there? And if not, I'm going to go find a place that's going to get me those players. And I think it's perfectly fair to look at the way that the Sky have handled their whole thing for more than just the last couple of years. Let's put it that way, and say, I don't know if this is the kind of place that I want to be as a great player. For reasons that are way outside of her control. Now, I mean, obviously, giving an interview like that, it's pretty salacious stuff in that article. I'm gonna be real with you, but like that kind of, I don't know. I don't want to, like, necessarily say that I'm just cool with, like, throwing your teammates under the bus and doing these kind of things. Like, it is a little messy and maybe a little unfair, unwarranted, or whatever. But, like, she's not the only star player in the league thinking that about their situation. She's not the only star player in sports thinking that. Like, it's different to say it, obviously, but, like, these players think it. And that's why, in this era over the last 15, 20 years in sports, like, these players want to play together. Like, why would I try and take a cast of misfits to the mountaintop if I can just go join the Liberty where every single player there is just as good as me and just as committed as I am? Like, that sounds great. And the stadium is cool, and our travel is great, and the GM is all in. Like, it just, so that's where, as an organization, you have to create the infrastructure and the environment and the appeal to attract those kinds of players, so that your locker room isn't full of players that are just happy to cash a check or that are just in it for themselves or whatever. Like, you're trying to win, you're trying to win. And I don't think that you can say that the Sky are really trying to win. So maybe in a different situation, like, interviews like that wouldn't happen, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I want to let Ollie get his hot take off because I feel like I've been on the edge of my seat for far too long.
Waiting on this one. All right. So look, mine really is based on a scenario, but if it pans out this way, then it leads to my take, and that, okay, if Dallas does secure the number one pick in this WNBA draft for next year, there is another team that has not 1, not 2, but 3 first-round picks. And Bobby, I think you know that team that's on my mind right now. And that is the Washington Mystics. After a couple of trades, they secured 2 extra picks. They have now 3 for next year's draft. So my scenario is, look, if Washington somehow does, and they're eliminated from the playoffs after last Sunday's loss to the Sparks, if they were to secure the number 2 pick, knowing their team is further ahead than where Dallas is because they have 2 bright young rookies and the third one that'll be back next season. And they've improved upon the results that we saw from last year. Like, they did take a step in the right direction. And I'm Dallas. I'm really looking to speed this process up of building around Paige Bueckers. And I understand if you get the number 1 pick, you have your fair share at, Lauren Betts and AZ Fudd. I get it. Dallas fans would like AZ because of the excitement and, they won a national championship together. Lauren Betts is that big that they absolutely would need, to complement Paige's game. But seeing as how I think Washington is closer to being more of a playoff team, more competitive team than Dallas, they seem to not be as far off compared to Dallas. Would you, and my take is, trade that number 1 pick to secure those 3 picks? You want Lauren Betts, you want AZ Fudd, one or the other, to pair with your 2 rookies who are already taking this league by storm. Get your trio, you get Georgia back, you've secured your core for the long run. While Dallas gets not 1, not 2, but 3 picks to try and speed this process up. In this league, picks mean everything. Not like the NBA. Oklahoma City, they don't need first-round picks. They have a bunch of them. But when we're a quality team in the NBA, first-round picks don't necessarily matter as much compared to being the WNBA, less teams, smaller rounds, where picks do mean a lot more. And so if I'm the Dallas Wings, if that scenario plays out, you could still get an AZ Fudd to pair with Paige and still have 2 picks. And possibly those 2 picks could be used to help Chicago and get a player like Angel Reese. That's my take. I know it's crazy. It might set things on fire, but it comes off a scenario where if Washington does get that number 2 pick, Dallas could be in that position where, hey, you guys want the final piece to complete your core? Give us these picks. We'll give you our pick. We can build. You can complete your core, and we'll see how things go from there.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. In fact, I kind of really like it a lot. And I like it for both teams because you're kind of right that the one piece that would be kind of missing for the Mystics would be literally is Lauren Betts. And they could go out and get it with that first pick and everybody wipes their hands clean. The Mystics are headed to their 2029 WNBA championship, just like Ollie's got planned. But, it also kind of works out for the Wings. So I like it.
If I were to add one thing real quick too, and I know she's a restricted free agent, if that were to plan out, and let's say Washington takes Lauren Betts, which I would expect her to be the number 1 pick if you guys asked me that. Shakira Austin is a restricted free agent, but could you work something out where you get her as well? Because Bobby, to your point, she can play both forward and center, and she's averaged about 12 a game. She's putting up, I believe it was 6.3 rebounds a game. She's efficient on defense as well. 1 steal, 1 block per game. That could be another piece they could use right there up front. But that's a whole other thing to kind of add in there as well last minute.
What if we create a little combo pack here? All right. So I like the road that we're going down. Okay. So the Wings win the lottery and they say, you know what? There's a couple bigs. There's Lauren Betts. Always up here too. Let's trade back. Let's do that with the Mystics. And then you know what? We got an extra first-round pick next year. It belongs to the Aces. We got our own first-round pick. We just got a couple more first-round picks from the Mystics in this deal. Let's trade a bunch of first-round picks for Angel Reese. And so you walk out of the draft with Angel and AZ Fudd and Paige, and now you're really cooking. What about that? Did I just earn the GM of the Year award? Please let me know.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
Executive of the Year.
Hey, if they are listening right now, we're feeding them a possibility. But again, it ultimately comes down how this lottery plays out. So
The recipe is written in the cards literally by us for you. So all you have to do is execute it. Kurt, if you're watching, big fan of your work. Continue to work hard. Maybe, take our advice. We know what we're talking about. You're watching 3 ball knowers present to you a lot of information about what you could do to solve your team, which is clearly broken. So please, just do us all a solid and get one of these things done.
Erica, how many degrees removed from Kurt Miller do you think you are? Like how many do you know someone that knows him? Do you know someone that knows someone that knows him? Like how close are you to
I'm definitely only maximum a few degrees.
Okay. I feel like we can get this video to their front office like pretty easily then.
I'll be honest, I would be absolutely shocked to learn that no one over there watches the show, especially given how much, the streets talk about us. It would be just profound to me to find out that they don't watch the show. My intelligence might be a little insulted at that point.
Forums are always buzzing. Okay. They're buzzing. I feel like we just gave the people what they wanted, though. We just solved the off season.
No off-season show needed. Who needs postseason
Yep.
accolades when you could have the DLLS Wings podcast
Exactly.
knock it on home for you? Which actually brings me to a really stand. You guys know we're doing postseason like awards, right? Since obviously like it was a whole lot of not fun. And if you think I'm gonna do something not fun to bring out the season, you're absolutely incorrect. So we're gonna do something fun, and we're gonna give like most likely to, I don't know, do something ridiculous awards. So be thinking of ridiculous things that we can award these folks, because I'm trying to do something
Comment
fun.
below with what you
Plus,
think we
we
should
have
do.
like all these injuries, so there's like hardship players you get to throw in there too. Like it's extra fun for everybody involved, It's like four more awards we would have otherwise not been able to give out.
The Wings definitely win the best example of why the league should expand the rosters award for the 2025 season.
Yeah, an extreme hardship contract. Literally never heard of that before. That's diabolical. They, and like it goes back to everything that Dorothy and I have been saying, and like I'll be honest, like with the Angel comment and the coaching staff, like it's not because I dislike Chris Kokonis' coaching philosophies at all. Actually, I just think he's way too passive of a guy to be in that position, and he's kind of proven that to me this season. Even boots off the ground, and he's proven that to me. And I really don't like going around talking about people's jobs willy nilly. That's not really my forte, but when I think already like it's disadvantageous to him that he is a man and coaching in a women's league, and then on top of it, he's like I could run him over verbally, probably. Like he's probably not like the best. You guys see what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be mean to the guy at all, at all. I'm sure he's a very nice man, but I feel like I could probably just bulldoze him. So some structure would be ideal.
What kind of attitude, based on what you know about Paige and what it takes to win, in the league, what kind of attitude do you think a coach should have? Because like every sport is kind of different. Like sometimes like the sport, yeah, you want a hard ass. Sometimes like maybe you should listen to the players more and not be so overbearing. Like what kind of demeanor and disposition do you think makes a good coach?
Well, I think Gino Ariema is the blueprint, but I think it's interesting because I think as you become a pro and over the years, do you need that level of hard assery anymore? Maybe not. And Gino is one of the, and I don't want to glaze him too hard, okay, but he's one of the old heads that has definitely like taken the change well. Tar Vanderveer literally was like, all set. Y'all have a whole blast with NIL. I'm gonna hit the curb with that one. But he's taking the change, and like you see AZ at things like the U.S. Open, and they're in fall practice, or I guess late summer practice. They're in that right now. So the fact that AZ Fudd is in New York going to the U.S. Open on a Saturday afternoon tells me that he's definitely relaxed his requirements at least a little bit in the new age of like out and aboutery. You know what I mean? But I think there's a certain level of hard assery you have to have. And I think the one thing for me is that Chris Koklanis's like philosophies have never felt concrete this season, and what he's wanted out of his team in terms of how he saw them being able to win games has not remained consistent. And so I think consistency is very important, especially when you're coaching a team that's full of youth, which is kind of where this team is probably headed to being. So if you're trying to primarily coach, 23, 24, and 25-year-olds into a championship mindset, then I do think you need to be closer to Gino than you are to Chris Koklanis, but maybe still somewhere closer to the middle. But I do think that a certain level of a-hole is definitely required. And to be honest, especially if you're going to be a man, like I think if you're a woman and you're coaching in the WNBA, it's probably much different. But being that this is a man, I think he has to have focus, hard assery, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, look, I come from a football background, so I'm all about the Bill Parcells, get in your face, not afraid to call you out type of player. Not take it far to an extent where the players are getting upset at you, but the coaching I've seen growing up, the teams I've rooted for. I mean, I say that, and I'm a Cowboys fan, so I haven't really seen it there. But the coaching I've seen from a lot of different teams, growing up, from watching a guy like, for instance, a Greg Popovich, or watching all the way going to the NFL, you have like a Tom Coughlin for the New York Giants, or whatever examples y'all could think of as well. But I'm more of a guy that can come in and create structure, but also, here's my authority level, and no one's going to be above it. Like when that coach walks into the building, everyone's silent. He has the fear of his players. That's how I've always been. That's the type of coach I really think you need. I get, to your point, Erica, it's a little different between, a man coach and a woman coach. But for Chris Klonis, I really do think you got to really assert that dominance and really just kind of make sure the players know, like, hey, I'm in charge, or doing what I want. Because I go back to like early in the season. If you guys remember, it was all over Twitter, like that expression Paige Bueckers made when he was drawing up like a play, and it was all over Twitter. And I'm like, I don't know if I like seeing that from my star player, looking like that type of reaction to a play. Like, no, like I think you got to make sure your players are really bought in to what it is you're trying to do.
How has so covering the Mystics, like what is Sydney Johnson like? Because that's a pretty young team that
Sydney Johnson, like he does a great job sticking up for his players. He will get on to his players. Like I have sat at the scores table a couple times, and I've seen that heated anger from him. Like, man, I do not want to be around him right now. And the players, they embraced it. They know, like, hey, he's our coach, he's in charge. But Sydney Johnson, like, he sticks up for his players. I have seen him go out onto the court and get into the face of a ref and get technical fouls for himself over his team. He will stick up for his players, and that's what makes them play really hard for him. And so that's the type of coaching I do appreciate. And I know it's not easy. Like, you have a young team. It's a lot of new faces on that team that you're trying to like put all together. And to Chris Klonis' defense, like you have a lot of injuries. So I get you're trying to fit these players, hardship contracts, new players coming in. How can I fit you into the system? You've never played with her. She's never played with you. So I get it. It is a challenge, but I really do like the way Sydney Johnson has approached it because he sticks up for his players. He's not afraid to defend them. I've seen it at media. Like we've had reporters ask players questions where Coach Johnson's like, oh, hold on. I'll take that myself. I don't want you to answer that. That's the type of coach he is. He'll stick up for them.
I love that. I think it's a really important aspect of all of this is that you don't want your players to. You've seen players be painted, especially by the media. Hands up, not me. In not so hot lights because something they say gets taken out of context. So it's always nice when the head coach takes that opportunity himself to make sure that his comments are the ones taken at liberty and not theirs. I think we should finally let Ali have his at bat for the Rookie of the Year debate after this quick break here on the DLLS Wings podcast.
You want to look good? You need shady rays. All right, now you're getting in my eyes. You're getting a reflection of what I'm looking at. And the future is bright, no matter what, Wings fans. Okay, the future's bright around here, so you do need shades. But what happens whenever you wear sunglasses? Sometimes you lose them. Okay, sometimes I'm going to leave these at the table at the restaurant or on the bar top or in my car in between the seat and the console, and I'm going to freak out. And I'm worried that someone else is going to take them, and I spend a lot of money on these sunglasses, and I don't want to lose them. Well, with Shady Rays, man, they've changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. They're good looking, they're durable, they're polarized and everything. But if you lose or break them, you're not SOL. Even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I can wear these bad boys everywhere I go without fear, on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, during this podcast, wherever, doesn't matter. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DLLS35 for 35% off Polaris sunglasses. Again, DLLS35. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Also, folks, are you looking for an afternoon of great conversation, good company, and a chance to make a difference? So you can join us for the Big Brothers, Big Sisters 4th annual Cigars and Conversations happening Saturday, September 13th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Casa de Monte Cristo in Dallas. We've been raising money all week so far for Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're going to be doing it all month in the month of September, and this is a great event that you can you should definitely add to your calendar. You can enjoy a premium cigar. I love a good cigar, a complimentary drink, and connect with people who care. BBBS board members, staff, and community leaders all coming together to inspire change. You can learn how you can become a mentor and positively impact a young person's life as well. That's Cigars and Conversations, Saturday, September 13th from 2 to 6 p.m. at Casa de Monte Cristo. Be the change, be a mentor. Visit the link in the description of this video for more on the event and Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I've seen some pictures of Casa de Monte Cristo. That place looks nice. Okay, so if you want to have a great time at a nice place, definitely check it out.
Bobby's gonna have to wear his dark blue shirt to that event, not the light blue shirt.
I might. I love a good gar though. Oh, love cigars.
Well, I gotta know. Ali, I'll be honest, last week I was prepared to duke it out with you, but then Bobby kind of spoiled it for you because he told me in the end the who wins your argument. So I was like, dang, that kind of ruins the whole thing. But I think nonetheless we still get to have some fun around here. So you do come from an interesting background with the Mystic, so I think that brings like a level of homerism that I personally love. Personally, like I'm gonna take every opportunity I can to spread my gospel, which is why I'm wearing 2 shirts today. This one that says AT for MVP. If you didn't think I was serious on my Twitter account and I wasn't gonna wear that shirt, you're wrong. You think I'm a liar. I'm not a liar. I'm a truther. And so I'm gonna let Ali be a truther as well and talk about where he's at with the Rookie of the Year debate. As of today, September 4th.
Yeah, look, it has been a phenomenal rookie class. This will go down as one of the best rookie classes for years to come with all the talent from Paige to Sanaya Rivers, Dominic Malunga, Sonia, Kiki, all of them have been a lot of fun to watch. For me, look, the Mystics are in an interesting position because if they had to, they're pushing for 2, but reality is, only one's going to make it happen. What Sonia and Kiki have done have been phenomenal. Sonia with her 2-way playing, Kiki with her rebounding and her double doubles. For me, though, Paige Bueckers, and I know Bobby mentioned it, I think last week, I do give the edge to Paige Bueckers. I understand. And I'm not here to sit here and tell you guys, no, she shouldn't win it. I'm here to make a point that I don't think it should be a unanimous decision on who wins it. I think to the voters out there in the panel that there is a bit of competition this year. And I think it's between Paige Bueckers and Sonia Citron. And when you look at both players, both are having phenomenal rookie seasons. I think I remember stepping into football real quick. Dak Prescott's rookie year, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. And he said, if I can cut this rookie award into bits and pieces, I'd give it to all my teammates. I really wish you could just cut it up and give it to both because they played phenomenal basketball. You don't want to look what both are doing and kind of be lopsided to one. Look, Paige Bueckers, her scoring production, she's leading all rookies in points per game with 18.9. She has 623 total points scored, 3 more than Sonia right now. That's a battle those two are, having right now scoring. She's been a consistent offensive engine for this team. Her playmaking, she's averaging 5.3 assists per game. She's running away with 174 assists. Next closest is Sanaya Rivers with, I believe, 101. So that's insane. Her player efficiency rating is 21.1, highest among rookies. Her defensive disruption as well, 53 steals. And overall, she's been the dominant player we've seen her to be, and she's lived up to the expectation. We talk about Sonia Citron as well. We talk about her shooting efficiency. She leads all rookies in shooting percentage at 47.3%. She is averaging 43.9 from deep, which is the most as well among all rookies. To Paige, obviously solid 33.9%, but not the same, obviously what Sonia's doing. Sonia's top 5 in assists as well, 4 rebounds a game, 164 on the season. She's making that impact as well on the glass. Her win shares, she has really contributed directly towards her team's wins a lot more with 4.3, despite the fact I understand there's more around her and Paige, the team dealing with a lot of injuries, but still impressive for Sonia to be able to contributing to a team that going into this season, I mean, again, there's a reason why they had a high pick as well. Her balanced 2-way game. I think Sonia all around has a steadier all around game. That one I might catch a little fire for, but her scoring efficiency, hitting threes, facilitating, rebound, her defense as well. And you know what? I was front and center for the game back in, I think it was in June. Paige Bueckers, it was, I believe, June 22nd, I want to say, somewhere in that time. She hit a go-ahead three, or a game-tying three to send that game in overtime against us. Sonia comes right back minutes later and hits the go-ahead three from the corner with 12 seconds left. I'm giving her that moment. Moments like that should definitely count when you're looking at Rookie of the Year in those head-to-head matchups. And actually, the Mystics are 2-1 this year against Dallas. But look, to my point, they're both incredible players. My message to the panel of voters, I don't think it's unanimous. I think you do have to sit there and look at Sonia's game and say, hey, she does deserve some first-place votes. And I don't think it should be a lopsided give it to Paige Bueckers. I really think we have to see her to admit there are, in this case, I would say two rookies. I'm throwing Kiki in as well, although I give the edge between the two to Sonia over Kiki. Kiki's been dominating with the double-doubles and the rebounding as well. But there are a couple rookies that really are pushing, to get some votes as well. And it's those two rookies right there. So while I do believe this is going to go to Paige, and that 44-point game is, I think, the icing on the cake for Paige Bueckers. That was historic on her end. We haven't seen that, from Sonia, but that 44-point game, I think, tops it all and really swings it completely in her favor. But again, my take is it should not be unanimous, and that Sonia rightfully so deserves some pretty solid votes in this contest.
That was a very compelling case. Thank you for making it. But I want to respond to one thing you said. Okay, you said the Mystics are 2-1 against the Wings this year, which should give them an edge, buddy. The Wings have won 9 games this year. Being 2-1 against them is not good. Like, that is really, really bad.
We're talking head-to-head when they're on the same court with one another. Forget the whole league. Forget everything. When they're on the court together, it's been in Washington's favor.
No, it's actually bad. That's a huge
I know it's bad.
in the Page Pro column.
Pro Page. I do have to laugh because someone in the comments, my guy Patrick Sweden, has said that Citron has no aura, no swag, very bland and no emotions. And I'm sorry, but that's just it's not true. You don't even have to defend it because it's a blatant. That is a lie. That's a lie.
And I have been around her. As the season's gone on, I have seen more of a personality. Now, she's not the type of player like, all right, she doesn't get the call. What I do respect about her game, like, she does not complain. She'll keep her head up and keep playing. And I do appreciate that a lot out of her. But seeing her around her teammates, you're slowly starting to see a little more personality out of her. There was actually one game. So after every win the Mystics have, they do like a dub tunnel. And Kiki Irifen is the star of that dub tunnel. Well, one time she passed it over to Sonia, and you just saw this emotion out of her after a win. I'm like, that was not her at the beginning of the season. Like, she's evolving into this player. But at the same time, she does give me that, like, she's quiet, that killer instinct. Like, oh, you just lit a fire in her, but she's not going to show it. And that's not a bad thing at all.
I think, to be honest with you, Ollie, unfortunately for Sonia, I think Rookie of the Year was locked up before the season even started. And it's terribly unfair because I think Sonia was kind of locked in the Hannah Hidalgo, cage in Notre Dame. And then she was let out of their cage. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, who is this Sonia Citron girl? And like, who knew she could hoop like this? And quietly, we all kind of knew, but it's okay. You guys will come around. The other thing, I do got a question because we discussed this last week without you, and we determined that Paige is all rookie, obviously, but probably all WNBA second team. And then on top of it, probably unanimous Rookie of the Year, and probably should be. But my question actually is, I believe that one of these 3 players will win either a flat out MVP period or a finals MVP within the next 5 years. So if you have to go on record today, September 4th, 2025, which of the 3 is first? Either of you.
And we're talking about Paige, Sonia, and Kiki, or is it 3? Okay. That's a good one. I'm going
to go along with my bold prediction of how the Wings are going to solve the offseason. If they do that, and it doesn't even need to be Angel, okay? It would be great if it was. But if they just add if they just add a butt kicker in the front court, okay? And get a little more talent, a little more experience, a little more scoring, a little more juice, a little more defense. Like, I think that would give Paige an edge, not just to win MVP, but also for them to go all the way. But as it stands right now, I mean, you can't win MVP if you're on a losing team, and I mean they need a lot more help to become a winning team than the Mystics do. So I guess you have to give the edge to the Mystics players for now. But dude, I think the Wings are going to add so much talent. I hope they do.
Yeah, to your point, like it really does come down to how these teams evolve over the next couple of years. Like if Dallas does add those players to go around Paige, absolutely she can be it. Now go to the Mystics again. Like if we're talking just Sonya and Kiki, I know they're on the same team, but I give the edge to Sonya starting with that topic first. I give the edge to Sonya because the more all-around game, like she's a three-point shooter. Kiki's not a three-point shooter. Like there's things that, Sonya plays better defense, though Kiki's the better rebounder, but there's things that come with Sonya's game that I like a lot more versus Kiki. But look, Washington, I really think, depending what they do in free agency, I mean, if they were to somehow, crush this draft like they did this past draft, keep in mind, Georgia, she'll be back next year. And if she is what they expect her to be, like that's going to make the team better too. I do think if we had to say rookie of the year, as I mentioned, goes still to Paige, but finals MVP, I would give it more closer to Sonya because where the team stands right now, and they have those 3 first-round picks, and they have another exciting rookie on the way back next year. I feel the assets are there, but it definitely could swing if Dallas has a big offseason, and because they have the more prominent player as well.
I'm gonna go the third option actually, which is Kiki Uriafen, and I've been talking my Kiki Uriafen train horn since literally I started on this show. I think, to be honest with you, Ali, I think in 2 years, Kiki is going to be the franchise player of the Washington Mystics. I think if you've listened to me over on PHNX Mercury ever at all, fours are the position that you need to be very good at to win in this league. And I've been talking about Kiki being a reincarnate of Asia Wilson since the very first time I saw her play in McHale Center versus my Arizona team, and she low-key whooped their rear ends because she is again Asia Wilson reincarnate, and I was like, this is terrible. Not only did you come into my gym last year with Cam Brink, this year you came back with Kiki Uriafen. Like, this is just not fair. Like, what am I supposed to do to this? I think that Kiki is going to be in the league for a really long time. I think she's going to be, to your point, I think she's going to shoot threes literally next season. I book it right now. She's going to be a 3-point scorer or a 3-level scorer next season. So the percentage is going to go up over her career, but I don't know if she's off top of my dome, if she's signed to Unrivaled, but if she is signed to Unrivaled, book her as Unrivaled one-on-one champ while we're at it, because she's just that level of a player to me. And the fours really, if you watch the one-on-one, which if you didn't, you can go back and watch. It won't take you very long. The fours dominated until they didn't. You know what I mean? So it was way fun, and I think Kiki is going to be a really fun player to watch in the league for a long time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The thing about this whole conversation is like, there should be no question, right? Like the easy answer should be Paige. First off, the fact that there's 2 other players that are both on the same team to mention, well done to them and well done to the Mystics to get them both. Like obviously, they're really good too, but like Paige is again one of the 5-10 best players in the world right now. Like the Wings should not be last in the standings. The Wings should be trying to win a title like next season. It's different. It's a different league. It's different rules. It's different everything. But like by the Wings season is almost over. There's 2 or 3 games left. By this time of Luka's rookie season, it was clear to the Mavs front office that like, oh my God, this guy, like we all kind of thought he would be good. Then we were like, wow, he's really good. And then we're like, oh my God, like this guy's, it's time to go, and with Paige, like, she's played all these games without Enrique and there's been a couple times where she's had some lousy shooting performances because she's getting double teamed and she's just out of gas and whatever. But like, there's also been times where she scored 44 points. Like, it's pretty clear, like it's go time, and it should be no question. Like going into next season, we should be like Paige could be the MVP this year. Going into next season, it's like, all right, are the Wings gonna? It's a foregone conclusion. The Wings are gonna make the playoffs. The only question is, are they gonna host game 1 or are they gonna be on the road game? Like that's it. Like it's time. You're at that level now. Like she is at that level. she's too good to rebuild. Like, no rebuilding. Like, let's go win right now because she is that good.
Yeah, no,
Well,
they have to be aggressive. When you have a player like that, it builds pressure on the front office and coaching to get good as soon as possible. They got to be aggressive.
3 games left of the season. Golden State tonight. Uh, Sparks over the weekend on Sunday, and then my squad over in Phoenix on Thursday. What are you guys looking at in the last 3 games? What would make it feel like, oh my gosh, these aren't like the worst basketball games I've ever watched?
Can she go for 50?
Oh, love it. Love it.
Just keep games competitive. I mean, show fight with injuries and all that. Just show that you can hang in there. And Golden State, that's a whole different topic. That's been an incredible team to watch in their first year. If they can, tonight put up a fight against them, that would be win or lose. Even if they lose, like that's still like you'd love to see it.
Ball is an extremely tough place to play, so any team that can walk into that arena and remain in the game in any way, I am always impressed with. And then they have another opportunity on They literally have an opportunity to play spoiler tonight. They have an opportunity to play spoiler on Sunday, and depending on how the standings continue to shake out, they can also play spoiler with the Phoenix Mercury on Thursday. So in every game but one of those, I do hope the Wings play spoiler and they get to have a lot of fun. But I think to your guys' point, I just want to see them have fun and remain in the game. I don't really care about the wins or losses at this point. They've secured the number one overall best odds, I guess, for the number one pick. But I wish we didn't have to wait till freaking next year for the draft lottery. This is like kind of boring. Like we can only like theorize so much without knowing the order of the draft.
Well, and we might be waiting a long time too, depending
Yeah,
on what happens with negotiations. Like the draft might not be when it normally is.
no, yeah. I hope they get it sorted out, but we'll see.
Do you guys see the article that was put out about the Connecticut Sun earlier today and that there's actually meetings happening? Because I'll believe it when I see it. These
Oh, like
people,
they might let it go through after all, or is this about something else?
they're talking about trying to keep they're meeting to address what options they have to keep the team in Connecticut, which
Hmm.
to be honest, I think is a good move. The Sun has been the laughing stock of the WNBA for a long time, considering they practice in the same place that 9-year-olds have birthday parties. Like, that's embarrassing. But at the same time, like, it does feel like a mainstay of the league to me. And it wouldn't, not that it wouldn't feel right. And to be honest, I want a team in Boston, despite their disgusting, horribly mean, terrible sports fans. I think it would be great to have a team there. And I think it's a fun place. I lived in Boston for a year. Like, it's a fun sports team or town to live in. So I can't imagine like it would be any different for WNBA players. Plus, have you ever been there in the summer? It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I hope that the team gets to go to Boston either way, but at the same time, like I think that the WNBA's like low key committing highway robbery on the Connecticut Sun, and I don't really think that's right either. So I hope the answer is somewhere in the happy medium and no one gets too screwed over.
It's just tough because, like, they're not letting people buy teams unless you're on the approved list of buyers. So that automatically reduces the value. It's tough. It's tough. The league is growing a lot. The players are growing in popularity a lot. With that comes a lot of money, a lot of opportunities, a lot of interest, a lot of viewers, a lot of pressure, and it's like it feels like everything is changing all the time. Like we do the show once a week, and it's like, all right, 27 new developments like since last week on the business side, let alone what's happening on the court. Like it is crazy what's happening in the league.
Well, guys, I'm so glad we could have this show interruption free today. I'm not gonna lie. Last week was really fun, but I had to be quicker on my feet than I normally am, and yeah. So I'm grateful that the NFL gods gave us 1 hour of freedom, especially on a day like today where it's gonna start like literally. Is that in like 4 hours? I don't even know what time it
Our
is or what.
pregame show starts in like an hour, right? Hour and a
Oh my
half.
gosh.
6:45. Yep, catch it. 6:45. Cowboys pregame.
You heard him. You know where to be. But anything else? Where can they find you guys on Twitter? I feel like I never give your guys' handles, and I kind of feel guilty for that. So please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, Twitter at Ali, A-L-I, Jawad, Jawad 024. Follow me. I am constantly back and forth between studio and at the Star covering the Cowboys, so we get updates from there, and hopefully more on the Dallas Wings as well.
At DLLS_sports and all of the affiliate programs. That's it. Don't follow me. You don't want none of this.
You can follow at DLS_wings though, because they, Elijah, myself, you never know who's posting over there, but we're always popping out the most random wings content known to man. So be over there, tap in over there so you can know when the next show is going to be. It's probably going to be next Thursday, right before the Dallas Wings take on my team over. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want anyone to win. What if we all just lose? Can we just tie, call it a day?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't want you guys to play spoiler for my team, but I also want the Wings to get a 10th win. It really has put me in a tough spot.
Well, let's hope
it
they
ain't
win.
gonna happen.
Let them win one of the. Let's hope they win against Golden State. You don't have to worry about that.
Ollie's got it right. Let's hope they win tonight versus Golden State. Play spoiler tonight so they don't have to versus my team next Thursday. But with that, we will see you guys next Thursday here on the DLS Wings podcast. Thank you so much for tapping in with us today.
We all silly like the